it. All right, we're going to talk about web exploitation and introduction to it. We're not going to go very hard on this because we're going to lose a lot of people after this, and we don't want that. So we're going to go easy, you know? When you start in the roller coaster, you start easy, and then you see what's happening, and you're like, oh, God. Anyways, let's start with that. Thank you. All right, the principles of information security. Okay, that's pretty much what we're going to be learning. Obviously, cybersecurity cannot be security if you don't protect it. And the importance of cyber defenses, how to attack it, how to protect it, and also how to find vulnerabilities. The main key of this is you see someone's code, you check it, be like, oh God, this is horrible. And you're like, oh, that was me. Yeah, that was me. Anyways, and spaghetti code, some of you might know, and how to exploit spaghetti code as well, and even engineer code at some point. Other kind of exploitations come more advanced, like really exploiting the code to its nature, which comes to zeros and ones after. I'm not going to go too deep into that. I have better members to explain that. One of our ex-members was perfect on that. Hopefully one day he can give another workshop. And yeah, most importantly, how to prevent vulnerabilities, which is something we're going to cover this semester, which we haven't really done in previous semesters. And I feel it's pretty important too. All right.
By learning about the computer vulnerabilities, you'll be able to just basically be better at preventing these before they occur in the first place. And it's very important as well, because there's a lot of cyber related stuff out there. There's a lot of malicious malware, and yeah, it's very very scary stuff. You know what happened with the Medibank stuff last year? Lots of data breached. Massive. And oh yeah, and Optus as well. So there was two big ones last year. And so if you stay ahead of the game, it will be very good, and you will less likely be hacked, thankfully. And
you know what's actually funny about Optus? It was a very simple vulnerability, just as, lack of authorization, lack of permissions, nothing very hard. Yeah, so if you get spam or emails, you know what's the reason. Yes, it was
Don't click any phishing links, by the way. Okay.
Yes, be careful, especially with those delivery kind of messages, because I got a lot.
You can get anything, but just the important thing is you don't click it. Okay, you never click any link that doesn't look like it's from the original website. Let's move on to the next bit.
All right, we're going to skip a couple of things, like how much money you can make. Yes, a lot. We all know it's a lot. Cybersecurity in any role is going to be very profitable. Defense, offense, whatever you get, money. Anyways, for those that are interested in money, Krusty Krab, money, 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 money. Anyways, now let's jump into the technical things. I asked before, who knows Burp Suite? Raise your hand if you have heard of it. It's a tool. Over there. Yeah. All right. A lot of people, well, not really, but some. Over there, one more. Yeah, we're getting better. So Burp Suite is a tool that we use for cybersecurity. There are two versions. The community edition, also, free community edition, right? And the professional one, which I doubt someone will want to pay the amount that they actually ask for that one. But anyway, it's good to know. If you ever get hired and your boss gives you that, what a nice boss. However, we're going to use the community edition, the free one. Why? Because it has more than we actually need for this kind of workshops, and it's just very simple to use. I told you before, oh, we don't want to jump into tools right away. Well, this might be an exception. Why? Because it allows you to see things behind the usual when you actually, browse online and check other websites. So this one is one of the exceptions because it's more intuitive. All right. Can anyone tell me how do we get web pages from the servers without reading? I see you guys. Yeah, without reading. I see you guys. All right. Yeah, possibly you already read. Anyways, so you make a request. This request in general normally will be a GET request. A GET request, as the name says, get me the website, right? And the web server will be like, all right, there you go. And it gives you back to you. There are other requests, which I will go eventually into the slides, like, for example, pause request, put request, delete. And there are others like patch, even trace, I think, and options. But those don't matter at the moment. We're going to focus on the first four. All right. This looks a little bit odd for some. For others, might look very familiar. We talk about GET request, right? Okay. Now, this one is a GET request. Can anyone tell me what kind of website? It says there. You too, right? Yeah, good. the host, it says YouTube. Yes, it's gonna be YouTube. That's good. Okay, that's good. Yeah, we have to, observe very carefully on the requests. You don't want to miss anything. What browser are we using? Chrome. Yeah, good. Okay, someone prefer Firefox. That might be me. That might be you. Accept is a bit of an issue because a lot of people don't know what is accept. And to be honest, maybe 1-2 semesters ago, I was like, yeah, what's that? It tells you what kind of files and data can be transferred during that website, if I'm right. Some websites will be like, yeah, I just want a zip file. Some websites will be like, no, just give me application JSON kind of thing. Yeah, others will be like, no, just give me, the form when you submit a form like contact request. It might be just that. And okay, let's jump into the resource path before I skip that part. All right, can anyone tell me what does the watch? I don't want to say the next word because I was about to give it away. What does watch mean in this part? What is it? Anyone? Any clue? It can be like a group piece kind of solution, Yeah. Yeah, good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's the path, the resource. So normally you will have youtube.com/watch, and that will be like, watch what? And then you put like, oh, I want to watch the video, right? And the video is the little, that one, the question mark V equal. That's what we call a parameter, a request parameter. And whatever comes after the equal, it just means what's the value of that parameter. In this case, the video, because YouTube decided to make it a little V instead of being like very explicit to everyone. It's like V equal, and that randomized, no, it possibly is not randomized, I hope, kind of video. And lastly is what kind of protocol, HTTP 1.1. Way before we were using, I think, 0.9, is that right? Yeah, now it's improving. Now we're even getting to different. Like if you go to YouTube, you won't be able to find HTTP requests that easy because they changed to a new protocol called Quick, but we don't cover that. It's out of scope because that's too fancy, and Quick is a pretty new kind of protocol. Not new as in like created, new as in implemented to other websites. Let's skip that part, just forget what I said. And now, what are all these? What do we call all this bunch of stuff without reading? The red one, just read the red one, yes. Yeah, the request header is good, good. Good job. Yeah, we call it that, yes. Okay, so all this bunch of stuff that goes under the get request, under the first one, we call it request headers. Request headers is basically what you're sending to the server. If you do a post request, by the way, if you do a get, is different. This is what the server is sending you, and so on. Other than that, that's pretty much what you need to know for this workshop, request headers. One of my favorite kind of things, in fact, I'm gonna tell you a story later. Insecure direct object references. Sounds very complicated, very easy actually. We, technical people, like to make things complicated for management people. Yeah, because it sounds harder for them, and they will be like, oh yeah, okay. And then they will tell the customer like, oh, we had an insecure direct object reference vulnerability, and they'll be like, oh my God, they don't even know what's that. But anyways, and they will be like, oh, what can we fix it? Oh, pretty easy actually. So insecure, anyone has experience with this vulnerability, or at least has read about it before I go on? No? Okay, first time, good. For example, let's say I'm user ID 20, but in this example, I have my bank account, let's say. This is my website.com. I made my own bank. I don't know, I'm Andrew Tate. I make my own website, my own bank. And I decided to be like, I'm going to be user 20, right? But, the engineers that I hired are not pretty skilled. Some of them are newbies, my cousin maybe. And I decided to be, user number 20 because, I don't know, 20 million or something. Anyways, what will happen if I go to user account ID 19? Any idea? Yes, I will be able to get the information from user 19. That's all it means, either. Indirect, direct object reference. Ideally, no one can see it. If I change this number from 20 to 19, no one should be able to do it in a good bank like Commonwealth or ANC, and the other two that are pretty big and so on. You shouldn't be able to. But it happens in some websites. Let's just say blog posts. Sometimes you don't have permission. It's private, role admin, whatever. But if you change it and it only appears and you're like, hold on, This is good. This is not mine, but it's good.
Yeah.
So that's what happens.
Also, one comment. So in this workshop, when you go to our examples for the websites, don't assume that they work well. Assume that there's something is broken. And in this example, the bad thing that happened is that they don't really check your access against what you are asking for. So in our example, I will show you soon, something will be wrong. And it's your job to figure out what it is. And yeah.
Alrighty, up to the example, please. Yeah, so I'm just gonna cover this really quick before we jump into the second part. Okay, so you guys remember what I mentioned, like change the ID and be like from 20 to 19? Well, let's imagine someone made a PHP code, a spaghetti code for now. And instead of saying ID alone, it will say user ID. User ID is the parameter for those that know PHP. Does anyone know PHP nowadays? It's kind of complicated to find one. Yeah, okay, good. They're still there, good. I like PHP before, didn't get to learn it properly because everyone was like, no, man, PHP, no, use Node. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. Anyways, there will be caps, yes. So what this piece of code, for those that don't know PHP, is doing is when there is a get request and it's gonna be like a user ID on the parameters, get me what it's saying on the parameter user ID. Well, in this case, let's just say user ID 20. And then get the user info from user ID 20. It doesn't have any protection. It doesn't check your user 20. It doesn't say your user 19. It doesn't have any protection. It just says get me the information, right? So this is how many vulnerabilities are found. And believe me, it's very easy, especially on APIs, which is like REST APIs kind of thing. For those that don't know, I'll cover it later after the workshop, but it's pretty much just get me something very simple. It has no protection, and that's how normally it works and happens. So if you get one vulnerability like that and you report it to the website, you might get a bounty. Not encouraging everyone to hack because it's illegal. It's illegal. But if they allow you, go for it. Yes, all within the legal bounds, okay, guys? Just, I don't want you guys to come here and be like, MonSec is telling me to hack. No, it's not. Is anyone lawyer? Good. Save yourself too. All right. Again, now that I explained what's VerbSit, does anyone know what's VerbSit? Just raise your hand. Come on, I just explained like 2 minutes ago. No one? All right, well, fine. We're gonna be using VerbSit, which is our default option for now, and DevTools, because I want you guys to understand what's going behind your normal browsing. I don't just want you to, binge watch Netflix and without knowing what's happening. I want you to understand what's going on, really. So, but we're gonna use VerbSit just to make it easier. And yes, I think that's it. So I'm gonna encourage you to guys Google soon, very soon, not now, VerbSit Community Edition, and start downloading it on your computer. It has for MacBook, it has for Windows. And if you're using Linux, there you go. You already have it possibly, or you can install it very quickly too. All right. All right, so we're gonna go to Academy. We're gonna click on this after you log in. And we're gonna scroll down. Well, actually, we're gonna click on all labs. And then we're gonna scroll down. You can use Control F or Command F, whatever operating system you use. And then you can type user role controlled by request parameter, which is this one. All right, so we click on it. And we click access the lab. What it's doing now is gonna create let's just say, spawn a machine, an instance, a virtual instance for you to actually solve the lab. So one thing that I forgot to say, because it's been a while since I did this challenge, is that in the description, you get a credential called Winner Peter. Anyways, so we can log in with those credentials and we can be Winner and then Peter. All right. Here is Peter, by the way, in this one. And here's one. You can see it from the lab description over here, credentials. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna log in simply right now. We're just gonna wait for the server to come back to us. And we don't need to save this for now. And we have an option saying update email, but do we care about it? No, not really. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna open the terminal, well, not the terminal, fancy thing that I've been used to say. We're gonna open the DevTools, developer tools, and we're gonna go to application. We're gonna go to cookies, and we're gonna see something saying admin equal to false. Right now, I believe you already logged in. I believe you already finished that part. You're in your account. You're like, okay, cool. I opened the DevTools and I went to application, which is where the cookies are stored. Cookies, as we mentioned, it helps to understand what the user currently has, sometimes for settings, sometimes for sessions, sometimes for authorizations, and many other things. So we're gonna go to the cookies. We're gonna click on this on the first one that appears, and you can see something here: session and admin. Never put admin as a permission in your website to identify if someone is an admin. Why? Because I can just double click on it, change it to true, refresh the website, and I will get a new tab here saying admin panel. That is not good. I mean, not for them, right? So we click on admin panel, and if everyone or if anyone actually read the description, the goal is to delete the user Carlos, right? So poor Carlos, he has to go. So we're gonna delete it, right? We're gonna be the only ones that remain. And if you finish this, you will get a message, a prompt saying, congratulations, you completed the lab. So I hope everyone understood like the assignment on this kind of task. And if not, I'll go with you in a second.